Sister Sister, they're airing their series finale. It's season 6, episode 22, Fly Away Home. It's Lisa's wedding day, and she is really nervous. So nervous, in fact, that she runs out of the church and goes to a bar and meets up with her past friend, Foxy Jones. Ray later finds her at the bar and talks her into marrying Victor. At the wedding, the twins' old friend Roger Evans returns and sings for Lisa at the wedding. We didn't see that.
Yeah, they cut that out?
Yeah, they had to.
The fuck? Go home, Roger. I gotta say, Steve, this is not something I would have been excited for back in the day. I wasn't excited really to watch it, other than I was watching with my boy here and live and in living color. But it was a satisfying resolution to the show. Even had I forgotten the actual story of how this thing came about, but I think it was real. It was fun. I mean, it had some weirdness.
Yeah, that girl has my face, and like. Somebody gets married, man. It's a finale where a main character gets married. And I'm going to be real with you, man. I kind of wished, from my perspective, I think it would have been better if she married Ray. It would have made more sense. Like, you adopted 2 sisters who are sisters of each other. Y'all were living in the same house. It just made sense to me. But, like, I'm a simplest like that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely, it does make sense. But, you know what? Jack Hay, she just didn't wasn't like that. They were more like best friends,
co-parenting of sorts, in a way. And we start this off with Lisa. She's cleaning house and she's trying on her wedding garb here and there. She comes across a picture of her, the girls, and Ray. And Tia comes in and she's worried about the changes, or Lisa's worried about the changes after living in the same house with everybody for 6 years.
Yeah, it's gonna break the family up. But the family's breaking up. Tia and Tamara are going off to do their own thing.
Yeah.
One of them's going to the WNBA. One of them's going on a trip. To
Africa.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Along the way, like it's Tamara's real dad. He comes into the picture, and he is supposed to take her out on a trip to Africa.
That's nice. Maybe just take her out to dinner first and catch up a little bit. That seems like a risky one. What if you guys don't like each other?
Kind of like Uncle Lou and Will. Will
yeah,
and his
right.
dad.
Yeah, like what are you thinking? But Jack Hayes, I think this happens to a lot of people. She's just getting cold feet, Steve.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot of brides do, I'm sure, man. Or anybody going into a wedding, and Sheila, who is one of the sister's friends, she's helping Tamara pack. And she's going to Africa, like I said, with her real dad. And it looks like she's got like 16 bags.
And also, I would be like, look, if I am her dad, I'm like, I'm already fitting the bill for an Africa trip. This is like this is like $600 an extra charge. You got to pull some of this. Is some Spaceballs level luggage that we got. Remember the princess in that? She's got all the luggage that they're pulling around. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's a fucking messed up reference. But she's got about 16 hundo in luggage. And like, what are you planning on doing? I mean, there's only so much to do. I mean, where are you going in Africa that there's this much nightlife?
Women be shopping, man.
I get you. Women be shopping, Steve.
And then as that's going on, Roger pulls up, Mr. Batman from Immature himself, and he tells Tamara, we got some unfinished business. So he puckers up, and he thinks she's about to kiss him. But she's just like, go home, Roger. Yes. We need that.
It gets a pop.
Yes.
And he's like, you got me one last time, girl.
For any finale, we need that fucking catchphrase. That's another thing. For Happy Days, Fonz is supposed to say, hey. For Family Matters, Steve is supposed to say, did I do that? For Sister, one of them motherfuckers is supposed to say, go home, Roger.
We got it.
We got it.
Check the box, Steve. Checked. Yeah. So now I forget exactly. Is this where we go to the mall? Because Jack Lisa's got to get some shoes. She doesn't like her shoes for the wedding.
Lisa goes shoe shopping with Tia, and then the salesman, he's being sassy with them. And so they have a back and forth. And then Ray and Tamara, they show up, and the salesman is being sassy with them too. And so your daughter asked for this specific shoe. That's what the salesman said. And they bump into each other just like the pilot. They're like not even knowing that the other is at the same place. And they basically replicate that same scene. Mom?
We've got the same face. But shout out to the actual shoe store guy who's French. It's been 6 years in the show. Guy's still at the shoe store, so he ain't doing well. And he came all the way from France to work in a shoe store. And I don't get that.
David,
you know?
And it's the same guy from the
It
pilot.
is. They show it. They show the scene. And he's very French. You think I don't know your daughter? Making the snide comments. But they do it, Steve. And they find some shoes. Which I don't even get. I don't know why they need it. I guess Jack A just needed to go shopping one more time, you know?
I mean, you got to look fresh and fly for the wedding day. I mean, even the people who aren't even in the wedding, you got to put on your best of bestest.
Yeah.
Your bestest of best.
Roger does. He
Does
puts
he?
on that weird little, I don't even know what you call that.
Yeah. I know you had a comment about it.
It looked like it looked like some sort of priest collar thing. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I've seen it before, but it's like
That
you
wasn't
got to be a
his best.
certain level of player to do that. And Roger just didn't have it right there.
Roger really should have went home.
Yeah, he should have. He went and
Like-
gotten a tie
Yeah.
just to get a
Put,
tie.
put a
dude.
tie on that shit, dog. But it's good that Roger's there because it's a part of the closure for us fans.
Well, I guess he sang too. He was there to sing, but we didn't
Apparently.
get that. Apparently, they cut that out. So I don't get that. Hulu or whoever we watch that with. That's weird.
And, Lisa, she's going back and forth. She just has this mindset of like things just will never be the same again.
But people keep talking her out of it. But then they get to the church,
Yeah.
and shout out because we just realized it in the moment, but the Reverend is actually the janitor from Abbott Elementary, if anybody's watching that. And this Reverend's like, let's talk before the ceremony. I just want to let you know of a few things. And this guy goes on just a speech about family and making a family breakup is like putting that like a ship breaking on the rocks in the ocean, which is not what Jack A wanted to hear. It's not what Lisa wanted to hear.
He scares her straight. And that brother is William Stanford Davis. Shout out to
Amazing.
him.
I love that guy's hilarious. He's hilarious in this. He's a little doomsday, but it sends Lisa in a spiral. So instead of being ready to get married like she has been or off and on, she says, you know what? Fuck this. Busts out, tries to catch a cab, can't catch a cab, catches a bus.
The fucking bus. And this is another series finale where there's a marriage and the bride is like by herself.
Yep.
Like, well, I'm not familiar. I thought this is what I thought. The bride and the groom, they're just huddled with people who like are important to them.
Yeah.
Like the groom's got his dudes, his family members, his homeboys. The bride, she's got her homegirls and like all of her aunts and mom and grandma, all that shit. But like not Blanche, but Dorothy, just like Lisa on Sister, like y'all just by yourself. Like why?
Solo, dude. You got to take stock. You got to get that one last minute of peace before you're with somebody for the rest of your life. You know what? I think that's what it was.
That's what the bachelorette party for.
Well, she must not have gotten one because she's still having second thoughts. She hops on that Greyhound. It's not really a Greyhound. It's a city bus. And we don't even know where she's going. But that veil almost gets caught in that bus tire, Steve. I was worried she was going to
Yeah.
get yanked out of the door. But thankfully, Lisa makes it to where she needs to go. But she leaves everybody else at the church, including, what's her name of her beau-to-be?
Victor.
Victor. And he doesn't know what the fuck. He's like, man, she's left, man. She's standing me up. So the good reverend's like, let me come take you back to the rectory and just imbibe you with with the spirit. And he walks him in, and they're like, what are you going to do? He's like, the spirit's Jack Daniels, motherfucker. So he's getting this dude sauced. And shout out, I love that. Great idea.
And shout out to Ray because he's playing quarterback. He tells Jordan and Tyreek, like, hey, you guys take care of the spirits. Keep that rum bowl flowing, and then y'all, I think he talks to Tia and Tamari's like, y'all just keep the guests entertained, like keep them up to date on what's going on.
Yeah, and he goes off, and then we cut to Jackie, who's at the Funkadelic. Is that what it was called?
I think that's what. Yeah.
And shout out to that. That's a dope name for a bar. We go in. It's a dive bar. It's got a lady. Looks a little out of place in modern times. Foxy. Definitely, and she is foxy. I dig that blonde afro.
She is foxy.
But she's wild. Jack A wants to get a little drink. She doesn't know how to make the drink, so she gets a little cherry Coke. They start talking. And, I guess really Jack A's just sort of reliving like her good old days and talking about partying and stuff. But she's not a partier anymore, Steve. She's a mom.
And it takes talking to Foxy to realize that, because Foxy, she thought she was Sandra. And it was a shout out. It was a shout out to 227 because she says, "Oh, you the one with the big hair and the tight skirts. You Sandra, right?
You the girl with the ping pong balls. You used to shoot them shits out, right?"
Always coming in with a different dude. And she was like, "No, I'm Lisa." And then she was like, "Well, you know what? I like you, Lisa. We need to hit the town, and we need to take some shots, and then we need to start entertaining some younger men, and show."
I got a guy who got a little booger sugar if you need to get excited.
That part.
I like that too. That's a bartender, Steve. That's a good bartender. Plugged in, ready to help out, ready to party.
Where are you at right
Foxy,
now,
dude.
Miss Foxy?
What was her last name?
Foxy Jones.
Foxy Jones. Shout out Foxy Jones, dude. I hope you're still working at Funkadelic. It's going to be a little weirder. It's 20 years in the future. I don't know if it's as pretty, but she's still partying.
And we're obviously younger than her because that's what she wanted. She wanted some young men, even with a husband.
You could have gone in. You could have gone into Funkadelic, Steve, and gotten Funkadelic with that bit. Funkadelic, you know?
Atomic. But while that's going on, Ray finds Lisa. He tracks her down like a bloodhound. And I think he said because that's the place he went to.
He said he went to his favorite bar on his wedding day. So I don't know if it was the Funkadelic.
Okay.
But Ray seemed to have a little some with Foxy. She knows who Ray is, which we find out later. But he shows up. I think, Lisa's relieved. But Ray really gives a nice speech, a loving speech. And he's like, if anyone deserves happiness, it's you. You've given up your life. You've moved in with me. You've taken care of these kids. You've become a friend to me, and you deserve this. You don't need to be afraid of this. You don't want to be in this bar, this hot-ass woman.
Yeah.
Trying to pull your titty balls out.
Yeah, I'm going to take your spot. I'm going to escort you to the wedding, and then I'm going to circle back.
I thought Ray was going to ask Foxy to come to be his date. You know,
Ray's too uppity though, but I got you though, Foxy. And shout out to Victor too, because I mentioned this off camera, man, that like he's played by Beyonce's real life stepdad, Richard Lawson. He married Beyonce's mom quite some years ago, and his daughter. His daughter is hot. Like one of Bianca Lawson.
Okay,
that's his real daughter, and
very stripper name. Sounds kind of stripperish.
It fits because she's like one of the hottest women, not just from the '90s. I feel like she's like one of the hottest like black actresses ever, despite not having the accolades.
Shout out Bianca Lawson. Must suck to be the stepsister to Beyonce though, because then you're never gonna live up to that. Yeah. Is she hotter than Beyonce, Steve?
It depends.
Your fucking head.
Depends on who you ask. I'm gonna stand on this mountain and say Bianca Lawson's way. No, she's better. I ain't gonna say way better because Beyonce's Beyonce. Bianca Lawson is the shit.
Well, there you have it, guys. If you wanted a hot take, there it is. Bianca Lawson, not way hotter, but hotter than Beyonce. And I hope the Beehive's not watching because we're dead.
Oh well.
I think we're dead because I think Twitter. I think we just got kicked off of whatever the stream was. So.
Yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. But we're still on here. Yeah. If that's the case, then TikTok, I'm gonna need you to eat a. But yeah, we're back to the wedding, and Victor is smashed at this point. He had so much spirits in him that like
he's just he's filled with the Holy Spirit. I didn't know that's what it meant. Shit, I would have gone to church for way longer if I knew that.
All we got was Welch's.
Yeah, exactly. I got a little shot of grape juice. Some bullshit.
And
Shout out to Catholics though, because they're the only ones that actually get to drink real alcohol. I feel like they got they actually got the real deal.
Catholics?
Yeah, I think at St. Rose they were getting a little saucy.
Okay.
You want to know what
Probably
my
getting
church?
touched.
You want to know? Yeah, I mean that's shout out to Catholics because they were getting that too. So yeah, maybe if it's not as cool, but you know what my church did that I thought was very weird. Usually when you do that, right? And this is a sidetrack. This is way off, but I just remembered this. Usually you go to church communion, you get a little like shot glass, a little plastic little cup for everybody. Everybody gets a one. My church, big hunk of bread, pimp chalice filled with juice, and they would dip the bread in the juice. You would get a little hunk of the bread. You would dip it. You wouldn't drink it because you don't want to. I guess everybody putting their lips on it, and you just have to eat this soggy, disgusting piece of bread. So I didn't get that. Wasn't very religious. I was just fat and hungry. So I don't know, Steve.
What part of the Bible is that?
Yeah, that's lazy. I don't think Jesus would have appreciated that.
Yeah, that's why we don't do that kind of thing. I don't do that kind of thing.
We're finally getting a wedding. We're finally getting what we wanted. Lisa,
She's
happy.
here.
Even Roger singing, walking down the aisle, and it's beautiful. And then we just get like a montage of this wedding, and it's just everything you want, Steve. Fuck the cold feet. It's all love. Yeah. And I don't think we mentioned this, but Ray, he's going to be going to the capital of Michigan, which
That's true.
and he's going to get a new job working on campaign finance reform.
With the commissioner.
Yeah, so Ray might be getting into some shit. He's getting into some dirty. That's where the real dirty politics is. So I don't know if Ray's altruistic or if he's about to get in some real money. But either way, dude, Ray, he's off to bigger and better things too.
Tim Reed is one of the good ones.
Yeah, you're right. He's got morals, Steve. He's gonna go clean up the swamp.
Yeah, he was on WKRP in Cincinnati, so he's good. He's an Ohio boy. That's his roots.
Damn, that's a deep cut. There's no one listening to this that has any idea what that is, Steve.
Yeah, you TikTokers probably wouldn't understand. But on that same day in '99, is that it for Sister?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Other than we got robbed of a Roger just singing that I would have loved to see. I don't know why it was taken away. It's probably a royalties thing. But again, shame on anyone who's a stream. Like, I don't get the laws. I don't understand copyright where we can't see this shit, and I don't appreciate it. So shame on whoever. Shame on you.
Yeah, you shouldn't have made Roger go home.